Good evening. A local man has been honoring the memory of his son for years by decorating his grave at a cemetery in Taft. But now the cemetery says the decorations have got to go. The Now's Leah Pizzetti introduces us to one man who isn't backing down and is asking to keep his son's tribute.
The cemetery here in Taft has a list of rules put out for loved ones of what they can and cannot do to graves. One local man says he's following the rules when it comes to decorating his son's grave, but the cemetery disagrees. Taking care of his son's grave. It's something Larry Robinson has done for years.
It's kind of a therapy thing for the wife and I, you know. Losing a son's not a good thing.
He's created almost a picture frame to line the headstone.
I mean, everybody that sees this tells me it's just beautiful.
And the Westside Cemetery District in Taft has not had a problem with it for years, until now.
The rules specifically state no wood, no rocks, no ceramic.
And while District Manager Joel Bauer says those are the rules, Robinson says that's not what it says.
No wooden crosses is what it says.
The rules posted say do not place wooden crosses or other wood, metal, ceramic, or plastic grave location markers, which asks the question, what is a marker?
But I don't see this as a marker, really. I don't.
Could you see, though, that with this set of rules, maybe he's not actually breaking a rule?
I don't see it that way. But maybe I read things differently than they're reading it.
The cemetery and Robinson agree his son's grave is well kept, and Bauer admits to turning a blind eye over the last few years. However, recently people started copying Robinson's design, but they're not paying as close attention to the rules.
Then we have some other grave sites over here where people have put like the border, little border and rocks and, you know.
And Bauer says now it's getting out of hand.
I can't enforce one issue without enforcing all of them. I have to be equal across the board.
Robinson feels the impact.
And unfortunately, he gets caught up in that.
They want to punish me and make me tear all this out because of other people's problems.
Leaving Robinson stuck, feeling like he's paying for other people's mistakes.
I don't want to tear it out. It'd break my heart. But I don't know what else to do.
Simply trying to honor his son. For The Now, I'm Leah Pizzetti.
Cemetery officials are meeting tonight in Taft. Robinson says he'll be attending tonight's meeting, pleading his case on why he is respecting the rules and should be allowed to keep the design on his son's grave. Bauer says he'll have the board look over the rules to clarify any gray areas. Runners from all over the world competed in the 123rd annual Boston Marathon yesterday. Some of those runners from right here in Bakersfield. More than 30,000 runners took part in the iconic 26.2-mile race with more than 12 people representing the city of Bakersfield. Among the runners, Stockdale High School alum Ryan Lucker. He finished faster than any of our local runners with a time of 2 hours, 53 minutes. Lucker tells 23 ABC running the marathon was tough, both mentally and physically, but says it was worth every second.
That whole last mile is just so loud, just so much screaming and cheering and everything. So it doesn't matter how you were feeling for the last 25 and a quarter miles. Those people are going to definitely bring you in. It's a great experience, something that everyone should strive to have at some point.
Lucker is still currently back east in Boston sightseeing. We'll give you an inside look at his journey to get trained for the marathon, along with other runners from here locally tonight on 23 ABC News at 11. The Family Dollar store in East Bakersfield has posted signage in its front windows announcing the store will soon be closing. The store is located off of Highway 178 and Mount Vernon Avenue. Employees tell us the reason the store is closing is that their lease on the building is up. Because of the closure, everything in the store has been marked down as 30% off. So that's food, cleaning supplies, houseware, drinks, and much more. It's unknown at this time when exactly the store will be closing its doors. Nearly 24 veterans met this morning at Meadows Field for the first honor flight of the year. 23 veterans who served in the Korean War, Vietnam, and World War II boarded the 37th honor flight early this morning. Several of the veterans were also accompanied by their family members for the trip to Washington, D.C., where they'll be able to visit monuments that have been built in their honor of their service. Many of the veterans and their families were extremely excited to make the trip, saying it's something they had been working toward.
Well, the most obvious thing is when he had to get his doctor's note, and he wasn't sure if he was going to get to go. But as soon as the doctor signed off, signed off that he could go, he lit up like a little kid going to Disneyland.
It seemed like it takes a good while to get here, something like this, but it arrived.
So cool. Honor Flight Kern County has 5 other flights scheduled for this year.
New York City's facing a measles crisis right now, and it's centered in close-knit, ultra-Orthodox Jewish communities. And Chris Welch spent some time in this traditionally very private community to find out how it's handling what has become a very contentious debate.
There are more ultra-Orthodox Jews in these few neighborhoods of Brooklyn than anywhere in the world outside Israel. Of the now more than 550 measles cases nationwide, more than half were diagnosed here in New York. But why this community? Well, experts point to this 40-page booklet as one reason, made to look like a legitimate medical journal.
But it's full of crap.
Yiddish language journalist Yosef Rappaport was so enraged by the myths he read in this, targeting people of the Jewish faith, that he devoted an entire issue of his publication to the scientific proven benefits of vaccines.
We wanted to express our strong opposition to the anti-vaxxers and how they're destroying the good reputation of this community.
It's being pushed by an organization known as PEACH, Parents Educating and Advocating for Children's Health. In addition to the booklet, they also hold spontaneous conference calls, but the group did not return our messages.
So in this particular pamphlet, it was tailored to this community, and so it focused on the Torah and on sort of playing on people's religious beliefs to make them feel like they shouldn't get their children vaccinated.
Dr. Sean O'Leary is with Children's Hospital of Colorado and the American Academy of Pediatrics. He says there's nothing that makes this particular community more susceptible other than the fact that they're very insular people.
I think it's just they're a tight-knit community that has more contact with each other than they do with the outside world.
Which means the disease and misinformation can spread quickly.
Yeah, well, this is how people vote, eat, buy stuff. It's word of mouth. So if your sister-in-law tells you, oh, I know somebody's child got autism, who are you going to believe, the doctor or your sister-in-law?
Do you vaccinate your kids?
No.
One woman who refused to speak on camera, citing her religion, told us she had heard the now widely discredited myth that vaccines cause autism. But this mom said she does vaccinate and hopes more people change their minds.
Our religion requires us to protect our health and to be proactive and to vaccinate.
All the articles are about vaccination.
A message Rappaport hopes to spread one issue at a time.
They must vaccinate.
Reporting in Brooklyn, I'm Chris Welch.
All right, Chris, thank you. And still ahead in our lineup, imagine being forced to choose between not going to the doctor or taking on more medical bills. Well, it's a reality for so many of the millions who struggle with medical debt. Coming up, we have how you can get relief. Let's get an update to our news feed. And the country of Ecuador says it's been targeted more than 40 million times by cyber attackers. They're from groups linked to Julian Assange. Ecuador, you remember, revoking his asylum in their embassy before he was arrested in the UK for charges of hacking a government computer in the US and sexual assault charges in Sweden. Well, taking statins may not help all people reach their target cholesterol levels. This is according to a new study in the UK. Doctors looked into patients' cholesterol levels 2 years after they started taking prescription meds. Nearly half of patients fell short of reaching their goal. Well, Russell Wilson's now the highest paid NFL player, which didn't really make it a difficult decision for him to stay with the Seattle Seahawks. He made the announcement with a video this morning. You see it right here. Just so we were telling you this, he made a lot of money. His 4-year extension, $140 million. Must be nice. Well, you may think you're getting enough sleep every night, but a new NYU study shows that we may actually be sabotaging ourselves. And Amy Taylor's here busting some common myths about sleeping.
This is probably not surprising at all, but the most common thing we're all doing wrong is not getting enough sleep. NYU researchers found that many of us believe 5 hours of sleep is enough, but that's just plain wrong. The CDC says that we should be getting between 7 and 10 hours of sleep each night, and not sleeping enough can affect both our physical and mental health. So if you think you can train your body to adapt to less sleep, that's wrong too. Your body needs at least 7 hours of sleep so it can cycle through the 4 stages of sleep. This is when your body and brain store memories, even regulate your mood. And if you abruptly interrupt this cycle, your mental performance is affected. And some of us may try to catch up on sleep anytime, anywhere. And researchers say that's just not right either. Yes, we're technically repaying our sleep debt, but our body is actually telling us it's extremely exhausted when we pass out, I don't know, on the bus or maybe at your desk at work. We're all guilty of it, I know. And a lot of us are guilty of this too, hitting the snooze button. So you may think this is actually beneficial because you're getting a few more minutes of Z's, but in reality, we're only getting very low, very light quality sleep, so you might as well wake up when your alarm goes off the first time around. And also one more important thing to note, you can actually oversleep, so make sure to not go overboard.
The process to get or renew your passport can be a bit daunting, and that's why a local post office is looking to make it easy by holding a passport fair. The passport fair is being held on Sunday, April 28th at the office on Stockdale Highway. The office will have extra staff available to help speed up the process of taking passport photos and submitting paperwork. It is strongly recommended that you fill out your forms ahead of time. We have links available on our website, turnto23.com. The passport fair is free to attend and will be held from 8 a.m. until 2 p.m. We are just 3 days away from Good Friday and just 5 days away from Easter, if you can believe it. To celebrate these holy holidays, several local organizations will be hosting Easter meals and services. This Friday, the Mission at Kern County will be hosting a free Easter celebration for the community. They'll be serving up a meal of ham, scalloped potatoes, green beans, and dessert to more than 300 homeless guests and families. There will also be live music and a message about the day that Christ was crucified for our sins. Again, it is a free event and everyone is welcome. And to celebrate the resurrection on Easter Sunday, Blessing Corner Ministries will be hosting a dinner at their church in central Bakersfield. Festivities will begin at 11 a.m. and will feature a dinner, candy for the kids, and games like a scroll hunt. There will also be toys and other prizes. The Easter celebration is free and everyone is welcome to head over and join in. All right, let's take a live look outside at downtown Bakersfield. Gorgeous sunset tonight after a gloomy day, Allison. I'm ready for more sunshine this week.
Oh, yeah, and much more is ahead as this system that we've been tracking slowly pushing off to our east. That left temperatures actually cooler than average today. We had a high of 70 degrees, so that normal is 75 for this time of year, and I promise temperatures will be bouncing above that as we head into the rest of your work week because this system that we've been tracking making its way over Las Vegas as well as into Arizona at this hour. And right now here in Kern County, well, at least here in the valley and in the mountains, looking at dry conditions and those clearing skies, but we are tracking just the last bit of this system that is moving through the Kern County desert. So it actually brought some heavy downpour in Ridgecrest earlier this afternoon, leaving them with nearly 3/10 of an inch of rain, while us here in Bakersfield just received 400ths of an inch, and in Delano nearly 1/10 of an inch. But thankfully conditions are drying, and those strong winds that we've been feeling are definitely calming down as we head into the evening hours. Just 14-mile-per-hour gusts here in Bakersfield, 24 in Mojave, but that wind advisory that we've been tracking will be in effect until 11 p.m. tonight. Again, it looks like most of those winds are on the decrease, but just in case, make sure that you are staying safe, especially if you are driving through the passes. Now, as for air quality, technically it's going to be in the moderate range tomorrow with an AQI 54. That's right on the border of good and moderate, but we are tracking a warming trend. So that means temperatures are going to be warming up, bringing dry air. So unfortunately, air quality will slightly worsen. So you can expect sunny skies and again, the beginning of that warming trend on Wednesday with a high of 78 degrees, up 10 degrees as we head into your Thursday, 89 with those dry conditions. And Friday, it looks like we could be reaching the 90s, but then for your Easter weekend, temperatures will be right back to above seasonal.
A new and significant leadership change at Best Buy, which tops our news feed. For the first time, a woman is taking over as CEO. Corey Berry has been with Best Buy for 20 years. Well, a rare space rock found in Antarctica. Yeah, it's a meteorite that had fragments of comet dust embedded in it, which is unusual because the two tend to form in different places. Now, the dust is likely from the very early solar system and wouldn't have been able to reach Earth otherwise. Well, Starbucks and Dunkin changing their rewards programs. Yeah, Starbucks, you're going to be able to use points sooner and on more stuff. You'll have to spend more money to get free drinks and sandwiches, though. Dunkin will now let you earn points to get free stuff no matter what you use to pay. Well, older people who fall for phone scams are more at risk for Alzheimer's. It's according to new research published in the Annals of Internal Medicine. Experts found that this, even for people who aren't showing signs of dementia yet, well, they're more likely to fall for these scams as well as other fraud and abuse. Doctors encourage families to get their older family members screened for cognitive impairment. Well, 72 million Americans are struggling to pay off medical debt. In fact, it's one of the leading causes of bankruptcy in the United States. And our Nicole Val is looking at ways that you can find relief.
She was just a kind, caring, giving person. Unfortunately, she didn't always take care of herself.
Michelle Farden's daughter, Monica, got a blood clot a few years back. At the time, she didn't have health insurance. The medical bills piled up, something that scared Monica from going to the doctor.
The blood clot went to her heart, and that's what took her life.
This grieving mother wonders if the weight of medical debt contributed to her daughter's passing. Many people are facing the same burden of mounting medical cost. 1 in 5 Americans have unpaid medical debt on their credit files. And according to the Consumer Financial Protections Bureau, 52% of all debt on credit reports is related to medical expenses.
If a patient is so concerned about the cost that they're going to skip treatment, they're going to get sicker. And that doesn't help anybody.
David Fredrickson is the CEO of Patient Focus, helping patients deal with medical debt that often is unforeseen or unaffordable.
The patient has no idea what they owe when they leave the hospital.
Some tips to alleviate medical costs: setting up a payment plan. Many doctors and hospitals offer them. Consider a medical credit card. Reach out to a medical bill advocate for help. Or if your bills are already in collections, you can try to negotiate a lower payment on your own. Mother Michelle wishes she could turn back time and wonders how many other lives are lost, all because someone is scared to get a bill. I'm Nicole Vowell reporting.
All right, Nicole, thank you. And finally in our lineup, there's now clothes subscription services for kids. Yeah, Walmart just launching one today. So we're going to do some comparison shopping to see what could be the best deal for you. Clothing subscription boxes are all the rage right now, and they're now actually available for kids as well. And the Now's Andy Taylor's doing a little comparison shopping on these.
You know the saying, kids grow like weeds, and as expensive as clothes are, they're likely to grow out of them before they wear out of them. And new subscription services for kids to rent, wear, and return are on the rise to help you prevent your kids' closet drawers to end up like this. And also from your wallet looking like this. Today, Walmart kicked off its first subscription clothes box for kids. They're partnering with Kid Box to deliver 4 to 5 items for $48, which Walmart says is 50% off the suggested retail price. Now we put that claim to the test and found these 4 items: pants, shoes, sweatshirt, and a tank top. The complete outfit on Walmart.com totaled $58. So maybe not half off the suggested price, but we still saved $10. So you've heard of Rent the Runway. Now there's Rent the Runway for kids. The service lets you swap or keep kids' clothes as often as you want. Right now, they only service girls, sizes 3Y to 10 to 12Y. And you have to be an unlimited Rent the Runway subscriber to add the kids plan. Membership costs $139 a month. Subscription box Stitch Fix has a kids plan for $20 per box, plus whatever items you decide to keep. Similar to that is Kid Pick. It's only for girls though. And the monthly box costs between $13 and $98, depending on how much you decide to keep. If subscription services aren't your thing, but you still want to save money on kids' clothes, a pro tip: anticipate your child's size for the next year and also shop in the month of August. That's when you'll find the best deals. I'm Annie Taylor reporting.
Hey, good information there, Annie. Thank you. And when you think of video games that your kids, maybe your grandkids are playing, you may not be thinking of mental health, but more of these games, they're now tackling that important issue. So tomorrow here on The Now, we're going to be looking at some of what's really in development right now to raise awareness about this.
And coming up after the break, we're going to check on our forecast. Wow, gorgeous sunset. If you're looking at this right now, go outside, take a picture, and send it to us. We'll be right back.
We have a warming trend this week, 90 degrees by Friday, and then down to 78 for Easter Sunday.
We'll see you tonight at 11.
Wait, Leah still hasn't said where she's going.